Hello there guys and welcome to your Linux tutorial. Now in this Linux tutorial what we are going to talk about is what we are going to talk about in the next section. So this is a checkpoint, and in this next section of this Linux series we are going to talk about text editors. Okay, we are going to talk about text editors, and this is, as I said, a checkpoint. Okay, so let me just write it down here. CHACK point. Okay, checkpoint. Okay, so what do I want to tell you? Well, first of all, I want to tell you that you can skip this section if you are not a computer user who's going to use computers professionally. Okay, so if you're not going to use computers professionally, feel free to skip this section. Why? Because the text editor, which is available through the graphical user interface, is probably going to be more than enough for your needs. Okay, and a lot of people emphasize learning these text editors if you are using Linux. I actually disagree. Because I think you can use Nano. You can use Nano. I showed you how to use Nano when we opened up the bash RC file, and you can also use your graphical text editor for most purposes. Okay, so there's really no need. If you're just a regular user, there is no need for you to learn these text editors. But if you are not a regular user, if you're going to be a programmer or a system administrator especially, well, you will have to know these tools. Okay, and there are de facto two text editors on Linux which are sort of very famous and which are basically very frequently used. The first one is called Y, or Vim, and basically Vim stands for Y improved, and then you also have Emacs. Okay, so you basically have these two choices. One is Y Vim, and the second is Emacs. This thing right here, which is Y, is going to be the thing which is, I would say, going to be more beneficial for you to learn, because Emacs actually doesn't come supplied on most computers. You actually have to install Emacs uh, on the computer before you can use it. However, Y is available everywhere. And if you are going to be a computer professional, you are most likely, at least at some point in your career, going to be using some computer which maybe doesn't have a graphical user interface, or maybe it does, but you are accessing it remotely or whatever is happening. And in that case, you will most likely have to use Y to manipulate files. Okay? And Emacs, and the reason why Emacs is here, you may be asking yourself, well, why don't I just use Y? Well, because Emacs is also actually a really powerful text editor, okay? And, some people say it's more than a text editor. Well, I think it is in a certain way, but I'm not like the great expert of either Y or Emacs, so I don't really want to give my opinion because I haven't been using Emacs that much. I mean, I have been using it for writing code, but again, not that much. Okay, I've been using some other programs when I was writing code professionally, but I used Emacs for writing my own code, but it was on like single file codes, so I didn't really use much of its power. Okay, so again, you will have to learn these text editors if you intend to use computers professionally. If you don't intend to use computers professionally, feel free to skip this section. And if you ever need to do so, to use these text editors, you can always rewatch the videos here. And again, Y or Vim is going to be a much better return on investment, because in situations where you will not have, for example, graphical user interface available, you will have to use Y or Vim. But in those situations, it is also highly likely that the computer you are accessing or you are interacting with doesn't have Emacs. Okay, so basically, Y or Vim is actually sort of the best bang for your buck solution, while you should also learn Emacs. And actually, my suggestion is learn the basics of both Y and Emacs, which I'm going to teach you in the following videos, and then you get to pick which one you like more and really go into more depth with that text editor. Okay, so this is pretty much it, guys. I really hope you kind of learned something new, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial as well. Talk soon.